it seems like at this point we're going to have World War III. So I thought it would be fun because the media gives you little tastes. They give you kind of an idea of what might happen, but I thought it might be fun for me to just kind of put down on paper what my specific World War III predictions are, how it's going to kick off, who are going to be the main players, what's going to be the turning points, and yeah, how is it all going to wind up? So here goes nothing. So I think it sounds kind of like a basic bitch prediction, but it's obviously going to be something to do with Russia, Ukraine. I've been following this Indian guy on YouTube. It's a terrible fucking Indian accent. There's this guy on YouTube, Amit Gutpar or something. Forget his name. But he's this dude who I got into him a while ago, where he was talking about how things work in the world on a macro level, socio-economic, political, mainly just economics and politics. And he's been doing tons of coverage on the Russia-Ukraine war. And the main thing that I've gotten out of hearing him speak is how the narrative is that it's like Russia v. Ukraine and poor little Ukraine, just because they wanted to join the EU or NATO. I don't even fucking know. That's how uneducated I am. But essentially the main takeaway is that it's not just little poor old Ukraine fighting by themselves. They're getting all this kind of like hidden Trojan horse support from the Western world, essentially, because everyone, apart from like China and North Korea, and maybe India a little bit, because India needs to kind of be besties with Russia because of energy thing that's got going on. But anyway, everyone's kind of like secretly helping Ukraine. That's why they've been like standing up to the Russians. So anyway, I think eventually Putin's going to be like, fuck this. I am sick of fighting everyone, but under the guise of being like, oh, we're getting dominated by one country. But the reality is we're fighting everyone. So I think he's going to pull a Pearl Harbor. Because he's going to be like, well, you know, the Japanese fucked up with Pearl Harbor because they brought in the sleeping giant. I think Putin's going to be like, well, I'm fighting everybody anyway. Why, if I actually open people's eyes and make them realize that they are at war with Russia, whether they realize it or not, that'll create instability in their countries, and it will actually assist in our efforts in Ukraine. And sure, it might open up other areas of battle, but yeah, we'll just deal with what we have to deal with around Russia. And China will have to get involved in other battle areas. So that's what I'm thinking. And so how's he going to do that? What is Putin going to do to bring other nations in? I reckon it's going to be something insane. Like, I reckon one of the Scandies are going to cop it. Because that's the fear is that Putin is going to go hard at somewhere in Ukraine, like drop a little baby nuke somewhere in the Ukraine, or he's going to go real fucking big, sling one over the water, or get like the North Koreans to hook him up, sling one over onto American soil. So I don't think he's going to do either of those things. He's going to launch something at Sweden or Norway or Finland. The fucking hot Finnish PM, she's going to be having a fucking Molly party with her sexy buds and take her eye off the ball, and then we're going to lose half of Finland. And it's going to have the desired effect. Everyone's going to be fucking like, holy shit, this got way more serious. Let's mobilize ground troops in Europe and, teach Putin a lesson. But it's also going to be like a question mark, especially for America and American people, to be like, yeah, that was really bad that he killed 5 million people. It would probably be less. These places don't have that many people in, right? They're tiny. He killed, let's say, 1 million people. Do we really care about that? Yeah, it's pretty bad, but at least he didn't bomb America. He'll do something sneaky. Surely, right? Because it would just be too obvious for him to go after Ukraine or somewhere in the States. So that's my prediction for Putin's first move. So at that point, everyone's going to be like, all right, we're at war. Finland, because isn't that the thing? Like Finland and Sweden and Norway, they want to get in on the posse. They want to get mobbed up with all the other Western European states, but they're not there yet. So again, that's why Putin might go after them, because he's like, yeah, well, it's a loophole. They were going to, but they didn't sign on the dotted line yet, type of deal. So he's going to go after them. Everyone's going to be like, we're at war now. But then I think China's going to be like, yeah, well, that's if this is all kicking off in Europe, and America's going to be somewhat distracted with Europe, then we need to get into the South China Sea. So they're essentially going to be like, I guess it kind of is like World War II, isn't it? Where like you've got the Germans handling Europe, and then in Asia, instead of the Japanese, the Chinese will be like, yeah, let's start spreading into the South China Sea, because America will be kind of distracted. But I think that will maybe be maybe that will be how it really kicks off, though, because America won't go into Europe. They'll just deal with China in Asia, I reckon. Yeah, so that they'll be the two. It'll be like a coalition of the Germans and the French and the Brits going after Putin. Maybe there'll be the Ukraine theater of war. What a fucking weird expression. And then where else would they go through? Well, I reckon maybe something like Iran could maybe be a hotspot, because shit could kick off there. It would be like, yeah, let's kill two birds. Let's get Iran. And then if we can kind of like dominate Iran, then we'll just like keep going further north into Russia. Testing my fucking geography here. So there's that. Yeah, and then honestly, I think then it would just lead towards fucking the US doing another. Yeah, I reckon the US would kind of maybe get their ass handed to them in the South China Sea. Maybe lose a couple huge big boats, and then they will realize, oh fuck, we can't really. We're playing an away game here. America doesn't want to fight a war here. They freaked the fuck out over 9/11, rightly so. But it's just like Americans will not tolerate an obvious war in America. They'll tolerate an opioid crisis and the cartels coming across the border from Mexico. The fucking Canadians coming down, trying to start startups. They'll deal with all that shit, but they won't deal with like straight up war in the States. That'll never happen. So I think they'll maybe get a little afraid of what China's got going on over there. Suffer some major casualties in the South China Sea, and they'll be like, well, let's agree to disagree with China, and then I reckon America will then get involved in Europe by dropping a huge fucking bomb somewhere in Russia, and then I reckon that will essentially end the war. because then Russia will be like, okay, Putin will be like, yeah, this is crazy, right? Like, we can't keep doing this because we could lob one back at you. And how about you just give us what I wanted all along? Like maybe he gets he gets Ukraine, and then he gets like a prized, like a real fucking mob boss move. Like whoever he, dropped the initial bomb on, one of those like Scandi nations, like let's say Finland, another one of those border states where he was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking wreck you just to kind of like initiate this, be the catalyst. So the people who live there, because I was listening to some Sam Harris podcast where they were like, in one of those countries, they have like a fucking, it sounds just like a dumb myth that would never actually work, but everyone's got like a fucking shotgun under the bed, and they've been preparing for this since World War II of what might happen when the Ruskies come back to town. And maybe Putin will be like, yeah, it doesn't work if you drop a bomb on you. And so that they'll lose all these people. The anti-Russian sentiment will grow even stronger in that place. They'll be like, now you're our real fucking enemy. We're at war. And I reckon Putin will be like, yeah, this is all just because I took too much steroids 20 years ago, and now my brain's going funny because I'm in my 70s and I'm a mob boss on his last fucking legs. So it's about power for me and control. So give me the place that I dropped the bomb on. Give me Finland and Ukraine, and we'll call it quits. And then I'll let you even keep, Iran and all those spots. That can become like an American Western Europe stronghold, like the any type of kind of like Russian involvement in the Middle East will go out of style. And just really because I wanted a bit more Europe and this weird like homeland, get a bit back of the USSR before I die type of vibe. And I think they'll agree to that, and then the Chinese will own way more of Asia. They'll have like Vietnam and I don't know, a bunch of places down further south, because America will be like, yep, sorry for getting involved. You guys are pretty good at this shit. They'll own like, I don't know, some fucking tons more land. Maybe they'll get a bit of Nepal or something. I don't fucking know. But that's how it will play out. I'm thinking like, if I had to put a number on it, 3 big bomb drops. One in Scandinavia, one in Iran, and who else is going to cop one? Yeah, maybe one in like another Russian city. Like Putin will basically be like, yeah, I knew they were going to go after that one, and I was happy that they did it because I got what I wanted in the end. I can kind of spin it as a success story. So that's going to be happening. That's my prediction. And while it's happening, yeah, we'll still be Instagramming. We'll be, you know how you had to do like the beginning of COVID, the nurses were doing like TikTok dances. That'll be like the guys in the nuke, the nuke room where they're kind of like writing messages on all the bombs and stuff like that. They're doing kind of like cute dances to the new Lil Nas X ditty. And yeah, I'll be fucking getting involved. I'll be sending hashtags left, right, and center. I'll maybe set up a Cameo. So if any of the troops want like some fucking support and words of encouragement from a lowly podcaster / author, I'll definitely be getting involved and looking to find a way that I can kind of ensure that they know that I'm on their side, as long as my life isn't inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form. If that can happen, if I can still use all my favorite apps, I can Uber anywhere I need to whenever I get lost. All those things kind of align with my kind of worldview, my values, then I think bring it on. Let's do World War III.